Let's take you to Ladysmith now, where a flash flood which occurred at midnight on Christmas Eve has claimed the lives of 6 people, including a child. Rescue teams are now searching for 10 people believed to have been swept away. Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan joins us live from the site where most of the damage occurred. Karinda, a very good morning to you. Tell us about as to exactly what is happening on the ground at the moment.
Certainly, good morning to you. As you see the damage before you, many families as well as search and rescue teams from various groups, both private and public, are searching for at least 10 other people. We already know that 6 bodies have been found, and this is part of the river that overflowed, burst its bank on Christmas Eve at midnight, resulting in this total damage. Just further ahead up the river is a vehicle that was swept away off this bridge, and right now just much more into this part of the community. You'll see that families are currently searching for their loved ones. We're actually going to head there in a moment, but I'm joined by the ward councillor, Mr. Olani Izwane. So thank you so much for speaking to us. Councillor, take us back to midnight on Christmas Eve and what you saw happen.
Thank you very much to you and your viewers at home. Ward 22 experienced a tragedy whereby it was on the 24th midnight. We've been receiving the calls that the river is overflowing. There are people that have been washed away by floods. There are vehicles that have been swept away. And on the early hours of the morning, we came to the site where we've discovered that there are vehicles that are on road, that are on the river. People lost their lives, and other people upstream there. Also, they have lost everything, their belongings, and also there are children that have been also taken away by water. And the water was overflowing even across the bridges that are here. So it is seriously the tragedy. But with the assistance that we are getting from the Alimdad, they are always here. When I came there, I was like helpless. I didn't know what to do, but I engaged with the Alimdad, and they came to rescue.
Councillor, we know that a child is among those who have died. Tell us more about who others are those who have perished in this flood.
Unfortunately, I cannot, even though I cannot reveal the names and the surnames of those children, but when I get them, there are people also who have managed or who survived. When they were explaining how this happened, and it happened very fast, the water rose, and also they've discovered that there was the family that was also residing together, and the mother lost her husband, and then 2 children. And even those children, even as yet, they are not yet being discovered. But hoping that as the time goes by, there will be something also that will also transpire, and the people will get assisted, as there are teams on site, K9 units, IPSS, the Alimdad also, they are here trying to rescue. We are hoping that something will happen.
Councillor, as our viewers look at this damage, I remember we were here in January last year where a similar flood occurred. How often does this happen, and why is the flooding so severe in Ladysmith?
Well, here in this area where we are right now, it hasn't been happening. But when you go downtown, normally we experience floods there because of valve maintenance, they say, the technicians. But also, it might be because of the silt that is also over the river. We might not know. But here, it's something that is new. It's something that I've never experienced, I've never seen. That is why I'm saying here it's something that is new. But downtown, yes, we used to get that. We have floods. And even in the early hours of the morning, people were saying that Lyle Street also is starting to be flooded. It's because of maybe the drainage system that needs to be properly managed also. That is it.
Councillor, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. As my colleague Gift shows you, the damage around us. This is the part of the river that has overflown. And as he says, this is one area that has been struck suddenly. In January 2022, we were in the Ladysmith area, just a few kilometers away, so close to the Ladysmith CBD, and that area had completely flooded. In fact, parts of the streets were underwater. And at that time, we understand that about 5 people had died, and that flood across this region was quite severe in the fact that 25 people across KZN had died in that flood a year ago. And now, of course, we understand the death toll in Ladysmith from the flood that has just occurred is up to 6, including 1 child. We're going to just walk further in to where this river flows and find the families that are searching for their loved ones. And of course, this, as the country, the world celebrates Christmas, it's a heartbreaking time for people in Ladysmith.
Karinda, just before you go, what is the weather forecast like? I see that it's raining at the moment, but what is the expected weather and how much further damage is it expected to cause?
Indeed, it's about 14 degrees Celsius in Ladysmith. It's supposed to be that, fluctuating a bit for the rest of the day. But this rain, torrential rain at times, then going to drizzle, is expected to continue today and tomorrow. It's been happening now for 3 days and not necessarily giving a chance to people that are trying to recover, to rebuild their homes, search for their loved ones, of course, which is the main thing right now. Everything you're looking at is debris. This is a tree trunk that has fallen over. Maybe gift from this side, you can actually see that tree trunk. But certainly it seems that the rain is not subsiding. It will continue until tomorrow, meaning that the ground is going to be wet. It's still going to be muddy. It's still going to be difficult to try and rebuild, to try and search for loved ones. But we'll be on the ground, so stay with us. In a few moments, we're just going to head to the families, to the search and rescue teams, both private and public, and hear what they have to say about the search that has continued from yesterday. They stopped towards the afternoon, but they're continuing today because, of course, there is light and they seem to have more manpower as well.
Karinda, Jagmohan, thank you very much for keeping us up to speed. We will continue following up on that story.